Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. This is me Fatima Business Swali and I'm truly excited to welcome our very inspiring guest Pam Van Nest. She's an emotional confident coach, educator, entrepreneur and the Chief Transformation Officer of PVN Coaching. For more than 38 years, she has worked as special education teacher, consultant, instructional coach, and mentor across mine. Henrius Anterior. Today she helps women over 40 overcome perfectionism, quiet self-doubt, and reconnect with what truly matters in their life. Pom is also a certified coach, a creativity artist, an experimental baker, and someone who believes deeply in commission growth and meaningful transformation. Today we are honored to have very inspiring guest and very warm welcome Pam Van Nest. It's honor to have you with us today.
Well,
So
thank you,
thank
Fatima.
Okay, thank you so much for being here and most welcome in our podcast. So, Pam, can you tell us little about your journey and what inspired you to become an emotional confident coach?
Sure. Well, my journey started as a teacher, a special education teacher many years ago. And in my journey, I started my life off in the state of Maine in the United States. And then I eventually came to Canada when I was in my early 40s. And my experience was in special education, but I had other opportunities, like being a consultant and then going into the regular classroom, and then eventually becoming an instructional coach, which was helping teachers with their children, how to improve their methodology. And so it was from instructional coaching that I learned about coaching in general. And years later, I retired after many years of teaching. And I liked the coaching so much, I decided to continue my studies. And so I worked with the Coactive Training Institute and I became a certified coach. And the emotional confidence came from when coaching, I had the opportunity to I had a coach of my own. And I was amazed at the questions this woman asked me. It was as though she was seeing deep into me, things that I was not talking about. And yet, it helped me to see myself in a more positive way and realize that I didn't have a lot of confidence. So that coaching helped me be more confident. And as I learned coaching and began coaching other women, I could hear that self-doubt within them too. And so it was fascinating and rewarding to watch women hear their own wisdom and then step into it and do some of the things that they wanted to do to make life more fulfilling.
Okay, so after spending 38 years in education, what motivated you to transition into coaching?
I think it was, uh, I didn't want to spend my retirement doing nothing. And having tasted a little bit of coaching, I wanted to share that with others. So I decided I wasn't old enough yet to do nothing. So I wanted to share what I learned. But in sharing what I learned a lot more about myself.
Hmm. Okay, so my next question, you work mainly with women over 40. What are the most common struggles they face emotionally?
I think some of the most common things are the self-doubt in and having to do too much for too many and forgetting their own self-care and neglecting themselves. And then they become burned out and they become discouraged and they're not as vital, they're not as vibrant as they used to be when they were younger. And after 40, families change, our bodies change, our jobs change, and it's it's nice to be able to know that in your 40s and 50s that you're not done with your career, you're not done with working, and how to step into this new phase of life. Sometimes families begin changing, kids grow up and they leave home, and a woman can be left thinking, who am I? What do I want to do? And so it's an opportunity for them to find and really live into their passion. What do they really want to do with this next middle stage of their life?
Okay, so perfectionism affect many people today. How can someone begin to silence that inner critical voice?
Oh, what a good question. Yes. Well, perfectionism is it's insidious because it comes from wanting to strive for excellence. We all like to do an excellent job, no matter whether it's a small task at home, a large task with family, or on our jobs. But perfectionism is always that doubt that it's not good enough. And that can wear you down. I think of perfectionism can actually kill our creativity. So we have an idea for a project, we begin working on that project, but then, as you said, those voices show up inside of us, those inner critics, and they tell us that's not good enough, people aren't going to like that. And our thoughts influence how we feel and how we act. And so I found the best way, or one of the ways to deal with this perfectionism, this inner critic, was to become aware of it. And for many, many years, I was aware of it, but I was unaware that I could change it. So it's becoming aware of it. What is it saying? And how is it affecting me? And I found that by coming to the present moment, that it stopped. Now it's going to come back, but I would begin to ask myself, and as I began to learn about this inner critic, and sometimes they're called saboteurs, I learned that they are actually pointing to our highest values. What is it that we really want? So in perfectionism, it's striving for excellence, which we all want, but it overuses it. So I ask myself, what is it that I'm afraid of? Is it, am I afraid of others criticizing me? Well, why should I be worried about what others think if I'm doing the very best I can? So it's very much becoming aware of it. I find taking a deep breath and calming myself, getting myself in the present moment. And then I've also learned lately to think about, I wonder how this perfectionism, how it can actually help me, or what does it show about me, or anyone that has these thoughts. And one of them is to look at, well, it shows that I do my very best. I have high standards. I want the very best from this project or what this task that I'm doing. And it shows that I'm a caring person. And when I was able to step back and look at that, it was like, oh, so perfectionism can get in the way if I listen to its lies. But if I listen to the fact that, oh, I am trying to do the best I can almost say, thank you, perfectionism, as though it was standing there. I don't need your help now. And it kind of settles down. It almost evaporates. It goes away for a while. It will come back, but now I know how to handle it. Take a deep breath. Think about what it's really saying. What am I afraid of? And then realize, oh, I really am trying to do the best I can because I'm caring about this project and the people I'm with. And then it quiets down for a while.
Okay, that's really amazing. So, my next question, what does emotional confidence truly means to you?
Yeah, emotional confidence is knowing my emotions, knowing how I feel, and knowing what I need, and knowing that I can meet those needs. I can't always get my needs met from the people that are around me the way I want them met. But if I take the time and learn about what is it I'm really feeling, what is it I'm thinking, what's that thought that's getting in the way, and then I can be confident that, yes, this feeling is real and I have a choice. Do I want to continue feeling badly or do I want to change that and feel better? So, emotional confidence is just becoming much more aware of what am I feeling? What are those feelings? And what is it that I need in this moment? And how can I meet that in a healthy way?
Okay, so how can women reconnect with themselves after years of focusing on family, career, and responsibilities?
Well, one of the ways is to connect with a coach or connect with other women that are going through this same uh, dilemma, the same process. But in coaching, um, you get to listen to the questions that are being asked, and it's a lot of self-reflection. So there has to be a desire to change. Do you want to change, or do you like feeling miserable all the time? It does take work, but I find that when I made that commitment to myself to hire a coach, there were challenges because my coach could see things that I didn't want to admit about myself. And so by getting those questions, I had to look at that part of myself and ask myself, do I really want to change? And how can I change so that it's better for me and for the people that I live with? Um, so yeah, I would strongly urge anyone to get in touch with a coach and work with them to see what is it you really want and how can you get there.
Mm, Okay, so you have worked in different places like Maine, Honduras, and Ontario. What lesson did those experiences teach you about people and emotions?
Oh, yeah, I've been very blessed to be able to travel and to live, having lived in the state of Maine and then moved to Canada because I've been here almost half of my life now. And then the opportunity to visit Honduras because my daughter lived there for a while. It's like the whole world. We're all human beings and we all have these same emotions and needs and feelings, and that there's more in common about all of us than there are differences. And that the other thing I've learned is that for me, the more I've gotten to know myself and understand myself, the more I can understand other people, even other people that are from a different culture and they do things differently than me. But I can understand, the ways they are feeling in situations that they are in. So that traveling has just, I feel maybe it's made me a little more human and developed my humanity even more.
Okay, so uh, many women feel afraid of starting a new chapter later in life. What advice would you give them?
Talk to somebody, share that. Um, and and another thing, if women are willing to write some of this down, start journaling. What is it that you are really afraid of? A wonderful activity is if you pursue this whatever this dream is, what are the positive things that might happen? And then also looking at, well, what are some of the negative things that can happen? And it's like looking at what is it that you really want? And if you are able to pursue this, how will it enrich your life? How will it enrich the lives of your family? So it's either journaling with yourself and getting reflective, but also talking with other people about what it is you want. And start off small. They just need to be very small steps. What's one small step that you might be able to take that will begin to help you move toward that goal that you want to achieve?
Okay. So how important is self-compassion is personal growth and healing?
How important is self-compassion? Is that what you were saying? I didn't quite catch all the words there. I think we cut out a little bit.
Okay. So I said how important is self-compassion in personal growth and healing?
Oh, I think it's extremely important. Um, I was reading a study about people that are not kind with themselves. And this does not mean overindulgence and doing anything you want anytime. That's not self-compassion. Self-compassion is being kind with ourselves as we would be with our dear friend, especially in a challenge. And so when when I see people that have begin to learn how to be compassionate with themselves and realize that there are other people that have gone through this themselves, then they can be more compassionate with other people, and that's what our world needs. I think it helps to help us center on ourselves and forget ourselves at the same time. It's like a paradox. Um, yeah, I think that yeah, self-compassion is so important because the study I read was if you tend to be critical and kind of mean and judgmental about other people, then you're probably that way about yourself. So if you can begin to be kinder to yourself, then you can begin to be kinder and more compassionate toward others. And I think that's the big goal. The big goal that I have is to spread more compassion, but we have to start within ourselves.
Okay. So how did your experience as a special education teacher shape your coaching style?
Well, I think it was looking at students that were unable, they didn't meet the developmental markers so that they were developmentally handicapped, but they could do things. And so I looked at what can these children do? And I would create activities for them to be successful in that. And it didn't matter that they couldn't do the same thing as their peers, but whatever it is, learn to celebrate that and then build on that. Now you can do this. Now let's try this next task or next skill. And I think a similar thing happens in coaching. I don't try to tell women what to do by any means or design anything, but it's that same curiosity. Where is this person at right now? What is it they want? And what's a question I can ask that can help them see their talent, see their strength, and build on that?
Okay. So if I ask, what things inspire you to become an educational teacher?
Oh, well, that when I grew up, I had a brother that was born. He was 4 years younger than I was, and he was born with Down syndrome. And he died at a very early age. He was 13 years old, and I was 16. And so I was getting ready to finish high school. And when he died, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. And I knew at that point, I knew I wanted to teach children with exceptionalities. And he was my inspiration. And I taught in the classroom and with teachers um, for 25 years. And I used what I learned being a special ed teacher, and I used that when I went into other classroom situations, and I used it when I was an instructional coach. So it was actually my brother that inspired me.
Okay. So, you are also a Swiss baker and watercolor artist. How does creativity help emotional well-being?
Yes, and yeah, and my watercolor and my art, because I'm older, I didn't realize I could paint. I didn't realize I could draw. I'm quite proud of that. So creativity has always been important. I've been a sewer for a long, long time. I sewed my own clothes. And I think it helps with emotional confidence because I had to try something I didn't know how to do. I had to try it out little by little and then step back and look at what I've done. And the people around me and my instructors, they were very encouraging. And as they encouraged me, I encouraged myself to carry on. And I think it helped me to um, do things like go on. And I decided to create an oracle deck, a deck of cards all around self-care. Um, how to make self-care um, fun thing or a journaling thing. I didn't know how to do it, but I thought, well, I know what I've learned and I can write that down. So it was being confident that I have this much that I know. I join a class, I learn a little bit more, I apply it, and then I keep building on that.
Okay. So, what has been one of the most rewarding moments in your coaching journey?
Um, there's so well, it's almost each person that I've coached has been so different. Um, and I think it's watching people gain the confidence they didn't have when we first sat down together. And by the end, whether it's been 2 or 3 months or a couple of years, but then watch them uh, use those skills and become and go on to do things that they really wanted to do. That's been really most rewarding.
Okay. So, my next and last question. So, what are your future goals of PVN coaching and the impact you want to create?
Well, my future goals, I want to carry this on and be coaching into my 80s. So, um, I hope to do, well, what I am doing too is I've created a podcast called Making the Time. And what I hope that will do is when people listening to it, I have at least 14 areas of self-care that people can think of. And I'm inviting a guest. I'm inviting an expert as you're doing, an interview. I'm interviewing them, Fatima, and asking them, what does self-care mean to you? And how do you apply it to your emotions or your physical abilities? And so I'm hoping that that will inspire other people, whether it's men or women that listen to it, to help look at their self-care. How can they take care of themselves better so that they can take care of others better? So I hope to keep coaching well, into my 80s. And who knows, I might come up with another another card deck. Um, there's a course that I want to take. I'm going to be talking to a woman about that on Monday, and it's all about coaching, but it's a little bit different, a different approach. So I want to learn that approach and apply that to my coaching.
Okay, that's really amazing and best wishes for you. So,
Thank you.
Tim, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your experience, and heartfelt insights with us today. Your journey is truly inspiring, and I'm sure our audience learned a lot about confidence, self compassion, and personal growth. We appreciate your time and the passion impact you are creating in the lives of so many women around the world. Thank you so much one again, and thank you so much for today joining us to me podcast. So goodbye.
Thank you, Fatima, and all the best to you.
Thank you. Same to you. Goodbye.
Bye.